approach your throne of grace with thanksgiving and praise this day. And as we gather in this place today, we ask now that you bless our gathering.
Muslim brothers and sisters who will be coming in here today, who will be their first time, probably stepping forth onto the state capitol, meeting with their state representatives, but knowing that they're also standing with a strong community of faith, of believers and advocates like yourselves.
Qualify for federal tax credits because they make too little. The thing to remember too is that people have healthcare access. They're not spending, particularly lower income people, but even middle and higher income people can be devastated by healthcare bills.
An issue is predatory lending. This has been on our policy agenda for some time. We have been working with our colleagues at the Virginia Poverty Law Center, figuring out ways to close loopholes in predatory lending, but there are still some out there.
There are laws, bills being passed to help reduce the amount of guns. Many of these are being spearheaded by Delegate Simon and others. Many of these are Northern Virginians to restrict access.
If someone steals something of value that's $200 or more, it's considered a felony and they could spend up to 12 years in jail. Now you all consider this, for an adult today in Virginia prisons, you as taxpayers pay $30,000 per year.
Be king for a day, I would make it so that we have an independent commission. And that independent commission would have some very specific rules to follow, some good government common sense criteria to follow to redistrict.
Over 250,000 immigrants in Virginia are undocumented and therefore do not have access to driving privileges. And if you want to know how serious this is in an everyday situation, my favorite illustration is that when my first son was born, my husband was undocumented and I drove myself to the hospital.
Since all the incidents in the campuses, all this sense of concern that we have about each other and our religions and our working together, our differences, and overcoming them, if you believe in it, that's something that we in the Interfaith Center believe in. We need your support.
Driver's license thing that's going to be binding.
Those are my two feelings.
Yeah.
Justice issue.
Everyone here? All right.
Depending upon who your delegate is, we run into kind of the same response time and time again as we take these very important issues to them.
So why do we bother? It's part of our understanding of loving God and loving neighbor, and it's not an easy task, is it?
When we met one of the delegates and we took a picture, they were very friendly and they would like their company. They would give their time to us and not want to push us away.
They listen to you. All right, thank you. Give them a hand. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say it's been a very tough year in general for Muslims, and I wanted to commend all the Muslims that have come out today for Muslim Advocacy Day. And especially these young ladies who I had the pleasure of hanging out with, and probably they made this legislative year, this Muslim Day, the highlight of my past attendance, I guess. And you know, they were able to go out there pretty clueless on how the system works, and I have to say by the time we were done, they were so brave about asking questions and tackling issues.
But thank you very much for organizing this.
A lot of people my age, they lose faith in the system because we don't believe that it really works for us. So I just want to say thank you.
Good, good. And that's important.
I walk, in the way that I talk, in the way that I think, and in the way that I pray. In everything I do, I want to honor you by the way I live each day. Again, in the way that I walk, in the way that I talk, in the way that I think, and in the way that I pray. In everything I do, I want to honor you by the way I live each day. God bless you.
We're sort of caught between these two positions. On one hand, we have internalized this message that in some ways has kept us strong over millennia, that we have been oppressed and that we, but we have been saved as well.
Katie Geneva Cannon teaches as an embodied, mediated knowledge. And those are just fancy words to simply say that we understand racism through the experiences of our bodies, through the way that we live in this world, the way that we operate in this world.
As we're here today working on our issues, that race is embedded in everything. Who is disproportionately affected by a low minimum wage? Who is disproportionately incarcerated in this country? Who is disproportionately going to underfunded schools? All of these issues, just as you have said and as the great Martin Luther King Jr. has preached, all of these things are connected.
Here, what we're seeing in the news right now is fear, and I think many of you would answer the question, what could cast out fear? Perfect love.
In 10th grade, that my generation didn't have a problem with racism, and it was a thing of the past. And I remember just how I stuck on that, and then I'm originally from Washington, D.C., and then I moved from Washington, D.C. to Gloucester, Virginia. and I saw a different side. Not to say race isn't in urban cities, but it was a very different side of America. And I think my mentality changed greatly. And I remember even times crying at night, And I remember it changed even more during the Trayvon Martin case.